Chapter 14. A Family Affair. Ace Headquarters, late evening. Jameson and his reticent colleague return to the subway station. As they arrive at the platform, the crew greet them with a round of applause. Jameson is surprised to feel elated again. He can't help but smile. Penny steps forward.
Well done.
She smiles. She hugs the main man, who seems equally happy to see her. He hugs her back, hard.
Oh, squeezed to meet you. Obviously something between these two.
So you two are an item? They pull apart, laughing at Jameson's question.
Not quite.
Penny says, offering a hand to Jameson.
Mission accomplished. Well done.
No cuddle?
Jameson asks, unable to contain a smile. Penny smiles too. He shakes her hand.
You know about the mission? You all know already?
Jameson asks, somewhat confused.
Well, yeah. It's already on the news.
Penny releases her grip and points to an open laptop on a nearby workstation. There is a news broadcast on the screen. The news anchor wears a professionally tailored expression of serious concern on her face.
Wow, that was fast.
Jameson says, wide-eyed. He edges towards the laptop with an impish grin.
Who'd have thought that the plight of some lab animals would be so newsworthy?
He expects to see manic monkeys and rabbits rampaging through a ravaged laboratory, with perturbed people in white coats, yielding nets, desperately running after them, Benny Hill style.
Please be advised,
The anchor says with perfect timing.
some viewers may find the following scenes disturbing.
Jameson's smile drops as the scene changes to that of a murder scene. It is a laboratory, all right, but there are no scampering animals. No comedic clowns chasing them with outstretched arms. There is only a chair with a strange apparatus crudely attached to it, which looks like a Victorian torture device, cordoned off with police tape. There are obvious bloodstains on the floor.
We are live at the scene in Cincinnati where the mutilated body of Head of Research and Development at Procter & Gamble, Frank Beagley, was discovered by the building's caretaker at around 11 o'clock this evening. Local police have already confirmed that they are opening a murder investigation and are connecting this death with a string of similar execution-style murders of high-profile targets in recent weeks.
Jameson turns his eyes away from the screen and whips his head around to find Penny and the main man hushedly chatting to each other and watching him from across the room. He gazes intensely at them, hurt and angry, duped and betrayed. He turns back to the screen. A stretcher with an occupied body bag laid out on it is wheeled out of P&G's headquarters main entrance by two paramedics. There is heavy police presence. Then the screen changes to an on-scene interview with a bald, pale, shell-shocked man in his 40s, in royal blue overalls, the caretaker.
Well, there was a problem with the CCTV system, you see. So I went to the sub-level to try and fix the problem. That's when I noticed that the wiring for the CCTV system had been sabotaged. I knew Mr. Beagley was working late, so I went to go find him to report what I had discovered. But I never expected to find him like that. Holy suffering savior. I've never seen anything like it in all my life. I think I will never be able to get that grotesque image out of my mind.
The scene changes to the very electrical service room where Jameson had carried out his mission. There is a close-up shot of the wiring that he had cut earlier. He quickly snaps his head around to Penny and the main man, furious. Then he hears a familiar voice from the news report. He turns back to the screen to find Deputy Director Guerra giving a statement.
We believe the murderer gained access to the building from the rear, disabled the cameras so he could then go undetected to carry out this heinous crime. The killer could be working alone, but we are currently following a line of inquiry which suggests the murderer may have had an accomplice. There is still much to do, but we are now certain that this murder is connected to the recent string of similar high-profile murders across the globe. We are also fairly certain that the animal rights group, ACE, who we are now treating as an active terrorist group, are responsible, and we are doing everything we can to hunt them down and detain them before they strike again. We are appealing for more witnesses to come forward at this time, and
Guerra turns and looks directly down the camera lens.
we are urging anyone with any information that may help us in this investigation to get in touch as soon as possible.
Jameson understands that Guerra is addressing him. He turns and storms towards Penny and the main man. The main man steps forward in a defensive posture, shielding Penny.
What the hell happened tonight?
Jameson yells into the main man's face.
You murdered a man?
Not a man.
A monster.
A monster? You murder a man in cold blood and he's the monster? Jameson looks to Penny. And you knew? Knew what was coming?
Of course.
And you condone this?
This is war. We all knew what we were signing up for.
War? War is two armies battling each other over land or a dispute. This was an assassination. Premeditated murder. Like she said, the main man says. Jameson turns to him. We all knew what we were signing up for. Even you. Jameson realizes his outburst and the fact that this group are willing to murder for their cause. He tries to regain some control, to slip back into character, despite his emotions. But he is so overwhelmed, he doesn't know how to respond. Unwittingly, Penny throws him a lifeline.
You were asked if you would be willing to do what it takes to succeed in our mission, to rid the world of animal abuse. And if you recall, you said yes.
I know what I said, Jameson says, regaining some composure. But I never actually thought it would come to this. So the cable you had me cut was the security system, not the locking mechanisms on the... Jesus. How could I be so gullible? Their security system was too advanced, too encrypted to crack. So we had to do things the old-fashioned way. The main man smiles. And now I'm an accomplice. An accomplice to murder. A terrorist? I could get 25 years for this. You're an expert on sentencing too? Jameson decides to ignore the question and dwell on the implications of his actions.
I have to contact Black. I need to leave the subway. Slip away somehow. But how? When? Christ, what have I gotten myself into?
You're not alone.
Penny says tentatively.
We all know what you're going through. We've all been there.
Penny shoots the man a knowing glance. He acknowledges her statement by dipping his head towards her without making eye contact.
But regardless of your definition and justification of war, this is a battle. A battle to protect the innocent.
From slavery! Someone shouts.
From exploitation!
Shouts another from the gathering. Jameson turns to the crowd.
From cruelty!
Comes another voice.
From suffering!
From genocide!
The main man adds. Jameson turns back to him. What do you think this organization stands for? The main man asks, glaring maniacally at Jameson with a very slight grin. ACE! Animal Cruelty Extermination. This is what we do. What we must do.
We do what we must to earn back their trust!
The group say together. Jesus. Jameson sputters out a dry laugh. What is this? A cult? Nothing wrong with a mantra. Got any more?
Suffer the pain of the fallen slain!
They all say in unison. Okay, I was kidding, Jameson says, holding up his hands as if surrendering. This is just getting too weird. Then how about this one? The main man says as he takes a step closer to Jameson and peers deep into his eyes.
Pass up the outcome, Vandy. Equinsoja.
Equinsoja! Equinsoja!
The group chant. Jameson recognizes the words on the killer's calling card.
Equinsoja. White Devil.
He stares into the main man's intense eyes.
No doubt now. It must be him. The killer. The White Devil.
What is that? African? He asks, trying to keep his cool and taking a chance. The main man smiles. What are you? A translation expert too? You've got some skills for a kid your age. Now Jameson smiles as he thinks hard. I'm 23, hardly a kid, and I'm no translation expert. I just watch African soccer. I kind of recognize the accent. The main man just stares at him with an eerie grin. Well, when you get to my age, you'll understand that I was right. You're still a kid. And African soccer, huh? Jameson holds his stare. Penny steps forward.
Consider this your initiation. Your reaction, your anger. It's natural. We did not disclose all the facts to you regarding your mission. And now you're in deep by default. You have every right to feel indignant. But it was a test. You passed. We are more than satisfied with your ability. The mission could not have gone smoother. But you seem to be holding back. Not passionate and committed enough to our cause.
Jameson just stares at her. She stares back, and so does everyone else on the platform, and he can feel it, as if their eyes are firing burning lasers at him. He knows he is on the spot. He has to agree to go further, deeper into the organization.
What can I refuse? Just walk out of here. I could have a SWAT team here soon after. just take the whole lot of them down. And stop this madman's crusade. Which I am now part of. Is he even the killer? Has he really admitted to the murders? Maybe I'm not an accomplice to murder after all. Who am I trying to kid here? Jesus, they're all gawking at me. I have to give them an answer.
So what say you? Are you in, or are you out?
Damned if I do, and damned if I don't.
I cannot personally kill anyone. That is my only condition. I will not. Otherwise, I'm in. For the animals, right? He fist pumps the air. There is a tense, quiet pause. Wind rushes through the subway tunnel, creating a chilling, high-pitched whining sound. The cool gust catches Jameson, still standing with his lonely fist in the air, buffering against his back, making him shudder.
Okay,
The main man says, smiling.
I can accept that.
The crowd begins to clap.
Archer, isn't it?
The main man asks over the crowd.
James Archer, isn't it?
Jameson's heart skips a beat. The main man's guess had sounded awfully close to Jameson's real surname. It's David, actually.
Of course. David Archer.
The main man says, and extends a hand. The crowd begin to cheer and clap louder. Jameson feels lightheaded. The room spins. This surreal situation clearly taking its toll. Dazed, he lowers his fist and reaches out his hand. Their hands connect and they shake.
Pleasure to meet you.
The main man smiles.
I'm Ace Ventura, pet detective.
Ace seems to confusedly look off into a distant memory. He stares back into Jameson's eyes with resolve.
I'm Ace Ventura, White Devil.
He says, with rejuvenated conviction. Jameson blinks hard.
Ace, you named the organization after yourself?
He says, above his fellow terrorist cheering chums. Penny steps forward again with an outstretched hand.
I know, right?
She smiles.
He is a vain man, but he's a great man.
Jameson releases Ace's hand and shakes Penny's.
And you know my name already.
She says, with a look of repressed pain that he can't understand.
Yes, Penny.
Yeah, Penny Ventura.
Jameson is shocked. He looks to Ace and then back to Penny.
Then you two are...
He catches on fast.
Ace smiles, putting his arm around his daughter. Jameson and Penny release their grip.
And your brother?
Penny smiles and nods.
That must mean...
You know, you would make a lousy detective.
Ace says, smiling.
They're all my children. All 21.
2.
Penny corrects him.
22 of them.
Jameson screws up his face in disbelief and scours over the crowd.
All 22? Your entire organization is made up of your children?
I only recruit my children.
Jameson's mind races. He becomes dizzy. He shakes his head to try and clear the fuzziness in his mind away. He tries to recall his training, to calm himself. He fails.
Hang on a minute.
He says, his vision blurring. He tries to blink it away.
You just recruited me?
That's right.
Something clicks in Jameson's mind. Something that rocks his entire world. He begins to shake his head.
No.
Yes.
Ace smiles, his eyes alight with manic charisma. He outstretches his other arm, gesturing for Jameson to join him for a cuddle.
Welcome to the family, son.
Jameson feels like someone has punched him in the stomach, hollow and winded. His legs begin to tremble as he breaches the limits of his perceived reality.
That's right, my boy.
Ace adds.
You came from my balls.
Everyone laughs and cheers as Jameson, almost willingly, disappears into a distant and grey realm of blissful nothingness. He faints and crashes down onto the cold concrete of the platform floor.